everyone has one. According to Meyers-Briggs, there are 16 different personality types. Which one are you?
3.
We surveyed 24 people of the same age at the same school, first testing their personality with the Meyers-Briggs test, and then breaking them up into extrovert feeler, extrovert thinker, introvert feeler, and introvert thinker.
What does all that mean?
Well, extroverted people often have high energy, talk more than listen, think out loud, act then think, like to be around people a lot, prefer a public role, can sometimes be easily distracted, prefer to do lots of things at once, and are outgoing and enthusiastic. And the opposite, introverts, have quiet energy, listen more than talk, think quietly inside your own head, think then act, feel comfortable being alone, prefer to work behind the scenes, have good powers of concentration, prefer to focus on one thing at a time, are self-contained and reserved.
And thinkers make decisions objectively, appear cool and reserved, are more convinced by rational arguments, are honest and direct, value honesty and fairness, take few things personally, tend to see flaws in others, are motivated by achievement, and argue or debate for fun. Feelers decide based on values and feelings, appear warm and friendly, are convinced by how they feel, are diplomatic and tactful, value harmony and compassion, take many things personally, are quick to compliment others, are motivated by appreciation, and avoid arguments and conflicts. Back to the experiment.
After we surveyed the 24 people, we then gave them our own likes and dislikes tests. This test asks questions like,
do you prefer cat or dogs? To leave a dance early or stay the whole time? Go to Six Flags or the beach, the museum, or the mall? Would you prefer to have an office job or a traveling job? Be taught by others or figure things out on your own? Or take a math or English class or science or history class?
To throw them off about what we were testing, we asked them questions like chocolate or vanilla, winter or summer, potato chips or nacho chips, Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts, a party or a concert, TV or a book or magazine, ski or snowboard.
We found that feelers prefer dogs over cats, which makes sense because dogs show more emotions. And we found that they prefer to go to the mall rather than the museum because the mall you feel your way around and a museum makes you think more about history or science or whatever the museum may be about. Feelers also prefer to be taught by others because they get a feeling for how other people think about a subject rather than thinkers who would like to figure things out on their own. Feelers like to play Scrabble over chess because Scrabble is a more feeling game rather than chess, which is a thinking game. And they prefer English over science because English is more about how you feel about literature. Okay. And thinkers prefer to go to a museum over a mall because they get to think more about history or science, and they prefer to figure things out on their own rather than being taught by others just because they get to think about it more personally, and they prefer to work independently than work with others because they get to think more about it by themselves, and they prefer science over English because it's more of a thinking subject rather than a feeling subject, and chess over Scrabble because it's a thinking game.
Sweet.
Extroverts preferred going to an eventful place rather than a relaxed place because they enjoy being around people and crowds. They preferred tennis over track because in tennis there's more interaction, whereas in track there's none. They preferred to be with friends rather than be alone because that is one of the qualities an extrovert possesses, the need to be around people. Introverts prefer dogs over cats because even though they like to be alone, they enjoy the company of having a companion, and a dog is one that doesn't talk a lot. They prefer to leave a dance early rather than stay the whole time because they don't need to be around people all the time. They prefer the beach rather than Six Flags because there's less people at the beach than there is at Six Flags. They prefer a traveling job rather than a desk job because they can disassociate from a group because they're traveling by themselves. They prefer to work independently because they're introverts and they like to be alone. They prefer traveling with friends because it's part of their comfort zone, whereas if they traveled alone, they would have to talk to other people, and most of them are shy. So was there a correlation between personality and likes and dislikes?
Yes!